I do want to talk about John Wall. He was dazzling again over the weekend. He had 25 and 14 in a win over the Pelicans, which extended the Wizards' home winning streak to 17 games. But afterward, John Wall did not celebrate. No, he did not. He set his sights on tonight's game against the Cavs. Take a listen.
Will Monday be the biggest regular season game you've played in since a member of the Wizards?
I think so. Having a 17-game winning streak at home, playing against a great team that's number one in the conference, somebody that we think we could challenge. We know it's a tough task, man. They're a great team. They're defending champs, and everybody know that they have a target on their back, and we're coming for it.
Is it on?
Yes, it's on.
It's a slightly leading question.
Yeah, just a bit, just a tad.
But he did say yes. Is he overstating it?
I mean, look, you're going to have to pay somebody to go through all the regular season games he's played to let me know if there are other ones that are in the conversation. I'm not going to do that kind of work. It's important. Is it the most important? Who cares? But it's important because it's a mile marker for them, a measure of success. We talked, and at least they didn't wear black to the game like they did against Boston. This was the dumbest thing ever.
No, this was great.
This was ridiculous. This is stupid because it's a regular season game. What?
He's going to find out that how meaningless this is at the end of the season when those are the games that you have to win.
Right.
So putting all that juice and giving it all that emotional content to this game, like the brother said, it doesn't make sense.
But okay,
let
me ask you guys a question. You have a franchise that has lacked edge, let's just say, for a long time, right? Where a lot of fans, a lot of people within the franchise feel every time they start to get going up that hill, they roll back down it. There has been a certain sort of toughness that has been lacking. The fact that they put themselves out there in that game against the Celtics, against a team that was above them in the standings, they really put themselves out on a limb and then paid it off. And that he's sitting here today against the biggest bullies on the block, the Cavaliers, and saying, yes, this is an important game. That's at least some edge. I'm happy to see that.
Phil Chenier is smiling somewhere.
Oh, man. I mean, look, again, we're talking about something that is like Kareem said, it's inconsequential at the end of the day. The only meaning that this game has is the Cavs are the best team in the conference, and this is a great measuring stick. How good do we think we are? Have we just been beating up on an easy schedule? Well, this is a real test here. But I will say this. John Wall is the best guard in the Eastern Conference, and not enough people are talking about it.
Wow.
I hear every day people talking about Isaiah Thomas this, Isaiah Thomas that.
Kyrie, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan.
John Wall is the best guard in this conference. He accounts for more points between his scoring and his assists than any other guard in the conference, or any other player in the conference, really, other than maybe LeBron James. Yeah. But, and I guess, by the way, I stole that from John Schumer from NBA.com, so before you guys jump in my mentions. But beyond that, so he accounts for more points for his team than Isaiah Thomas does for his. But then you factor in that other side of the ball that we never talk about. When everyone's gushing over Isaiah Thomas, this guy ranks 441 out of 441 eligible people in defense in the NBA. That's bad. John Wall, on the other hand, one of the best defenders we have at the point guard position, where it's a tough night every single night. Not enough people are talking about how great John Wall is.
So have his back when he says something like that. I do. I think it's good.
I will. I'm not going to have his back when he says this is an important game because it's February.
All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Oh, come on. Appropriate ending for Paul Pierce.
Welcome back to The Jump. That was the Boston crowd showering Paul Pierce with love in his final game yesterday. Oh, by the way, I am Rachel Nichols here with Amin and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. By the way, we were joking watching that clip. Is that IT giving him that last shot, or is that just Isaiah's regular defense?
How can you tell the difference?
How can you tell? I don't know. But it was a nice moment, nonetheless. Kareem, what is it like when you know the way Paul Pierce does in that building right there? Your career is coming to an end, and you're having one of these retirement moments.
It's nice just to deal with the the adulation from the crowd and the fact that they appreciate your career, because it's not for that evening, it's for everything that you've done. And he had such a wonderful career there,
Oh, look at that.
Led them to a world championship. No, when I was there, I remember at Boston Garden they gave me a piece of the
floor, right?
The parquet floor. And I'd known Red Auerbach since I was 14 years old, So it was those kind of moments are special, and you really enjoy it.
Great recruiting for Boston, right? Free agent. Well, if you come to us, well, you could have this kind of career. You could get this kind of love for the fans. We'll even let you have the last shot if you go to another team.
We'll see if it works. I mean, they've had a couple of guys had some great careers there, and yet the free agents don't come flocking in.
I'm just saying, you look good. If I were another player, I would.
They didn't let me have the last shot, though.
See, we got to talk to them about that. That rocking chair we just showed in one of the photos was kind of nice, though. That's nice. Someone gave you a rocking chair.
I wasn't in Boston.
They didn't give me that. They gave me a piece of the parquet floor.
Well, that's good to a Laker. That's a nice thing to get.
That.
It's pretty good.
We are the only team that won the World Championship there, other than the Celtics.
Well, there you go.
That building.
That is something to say. Certainly, again, if you are the Lakers. Let's talk about DeMarcus Cousins. He received his 14th tech of the season on Saturday against the Warriors. If you're counting, and we're counting, people, he is now just too shy of a one-game suspension. And that could affect more than the Kings. We've been talking about any teams who might want to come and trade for Boogie. Well, of course, anyone who acquires him inherits all those T's. And the fact that Boogie would start missing games with every other tech once he hits that threshold, you're talking about maybe getting a player who would miss a lot of basketball games. Kareem, do you think that's hurting his trade value at all?
Yeah, it's gonna hurt him in that people aren't going to want to pay him as much because he's showing a lot of immaturity. They want from him. They want the points and rebounds, and he can sprinkle in some block shots, and they're going to give him a lot of money and a long career, and all the things that supposedly he's trying to prove himself at by playing in the NBA. But he's got to get it together and focus.
In an ideal world, that's how it would be, but we're living in an age where the money is plentiful and the talent isn't, and so he's going to get his money either way. As far as his trade value, to say that, this technical foul issue now is going to cause a problem for his trade value is like buying Swiss cheese and then complaining it has holes in it. Like, we kind of know. It's kind of, this is what, year 7? Well, this is pretty much who he is. This is what you're buying. Now, the buyers are going to say, we'll fix him. We can change him.
Right.
We bring him in a positive situation. Sacramento.
Look at J.R. Smith.
Right.
Right?
Wherever you are, you're saying Sacramento is a crazy house. And here we've got the infrastructure.
We might be going a little bit far.
Is it? Is it? We have a whole segment built around them being a soap opera with music and everything. It's not that far off.
It's great music. I really like it.
I do love the music. But, yeah, so I just think that whoever's going to strike a deal for him, that's not going to sway them. That's not going to scare them off.
I don't know. I mean, the idea that he could actually start missing every other game, though. That's
Phil called it a cowtown.
I was talking about the organization. I was not talking about the city.
Nothing about the city.
Or town, I should say.
Speaking of Phil, we'll hit this real quick. It's no secret Phil Jackson has been shopping Carmelo. The New York Post recently said this has nothing to do with the best interest of the franchise. Mark Berman wrote a column saying it's Phil trying to cover for another bad season. Here's the quote. After last season's Super Bowl Sunday loss put the Knicks 8 below 500, Phil Jackson fired his coach Derek Fisher. A year later on Super Bowl Sunday, again 8 games under 500, and the Knicks president can no longer use this to fire another coach as a scapegoat. Instead, he said Jackson is trying to fire his best player, his best scorer, Carmelo Anthony. So, I mean, do you agree with this?
Well, yeah, he's definitely pushing people under the bus one after another, and I would say there's a limit to that. At some point, the piper comes calling, but then again, Jim Paxson and Gar Forman have done it for years, and they're with no signs of slowing down. So,
yeah, it's a shame when there has to be that kind of public rancor between a manager and a player who has given everything to the team. That's unfortunate.
We will continue to follow that soap opera as well. We're going to take a quick break. Excited here in this studio at The Jump to welcome in someone who will be one of our regular contributors, Scottie Pippen.
Thank you.
We're just going to let this happen at the table.
That's a lot of
12 rings over there, guys.
Yeah.
We're just going to lean this way, and that'll be the rest of the show. I want to start out, Scottie, by asking you about a guy you are more qualified to comment on than any of the rest of us here. Bulls GM, ex-GM, of course, Jerry Krause. He was a guest on the Vertical podcast, and here was his quote. I will say this about Michael, he said. He never came to me and asked for other players. He never came to me and asked to draft a player. He never came to me and asked to trade for a player. Never once did that happen. Part of it was he thought he was so darn good he could do it without them. I'm sure of that. Michael was also smart enough to understand the organization, and he understood what we had to do as an organization. He never complained to me. It is hard, guys, to see this as anything but a reference to what has been going on with LeBron James over the last month. We know Jerry Krause is a smart guy. He follows this stuff. What do you think of Jerry kind of making that dig this way?
Well, I think Jerry has a point. Truthfully, Michael never needed to go and ask for help, and he did try to do a lot of things on his own. But I think in the LeBron situation, you have to look at this totally different. LeBron is a player who's been in the league for 14 years. He's played in 8 NBA finals. So he's sort of coming to the end of the rainbow where he don't feel that he can continue to carry a team through the playoff as he's done the last 8 times as he's been in the finals. And no disrespect to his teammates, but LeBron has been in the finals 8 times in a row. That's a lot. And as a player, you know when you need help. You know when you're not that player anymore. And he's 14 years in the league. He's on his way down. He's not on his way up anymore.
What do you think of Jerry painting his relationship with Michael as candy canes and rainbows there?
Well, I think he's just trying to reach a little bit. There's a little bit of a deep reach. But, you know, in our respect to our team, we were able to draft players to continue to get better. Myself came along, Forrest Grant came along, E.J. Armstrong, Stacey King. So we continue to draft young players and get better. And I don't think LeBron feels that he's getting that same respect. And as I said, he's been in the finals 8 times. So the guy knows that he can't carry a team.
I mean, you obviously had a stacked team as well when you were with the Lakers. You were the one who came to that team.
It has so much to do with the competence of the people in management. We were so fortunate. We had Jerry West, and we had Bill Sharman, and we had Pete Newell making choices and making decisions. They were great at it. No one needed to complain. Michael didn't need to complain. The guys in the front office knew what they were doing, and as Scotty just said, they had a good idea about who they needed to make that team gel and put it in a position where they could contend. So that's really what it's all about. The people in management doing their job and understanding what the team needs and when to hit the button.
Right. I mean, I should say, by the way, it's 7 trips to the finals for LeBron, but that's still...
It's about to be 8.
Makes the point.
It's about to be 8.
It's about to be 8. Nice.
But no, I feel like we're just a little glossing over. Michael had a lot of opinions. He was mad when Charles Oakley got traded. He was mad when they drafted Stacey King. He was mad when, or he wanted Scott Williams to be drafted because he was a North Carolina fellow alum. So this idea that Michael never raised his voice about personnel issues is a little bit, that's kind of reverse engineering the truth, right?
Right, and our producer Jeff said right here earlier that there was a proposed trade for you, Scotty, and that Michael came in.
You could have been in Seattle. You could have been a Sonic.
I've heard of a lot of proposed opportunity. But
so he did have some influence in there. But it's interesting. We will get into all of that and more in the months to come as you join us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Legend, leading scorer of all time. And you, Amin, thanks for being here, too. We'll see you back tomorrow on ESPN.